I'm David Ben Moshe, and with me is Chaim Ben Pesach. Past June 6th, which is the anniversary of D-Day, the invasion of France in World War II, where 2,800 Allied soldiers, many of them Americans, in fact probably the vast majority, because the worst beach was Omaha Beach, died in one morning storming those beaches to invade France and start to free Europe. On that anniversary, our Senate voted against an amendment, at least 33 members did, to make English the official language of America. Now, I don't see what is so hard about making English the official language. Our Declaration of Independence is in English. The Constitution is in English. All government business is done in English. Most business done in this country is done in English. Contracts are signed in English. When you go to a sporting event, everything is done in English. However, I'm starting to see more and more Spanish creep in. Everything is in English, unless you walk through some ethnic neighborhoods where you see very little English. But basically, this is an English-speaking country, and you come to this country knowing you're coming to an English-speaking country. So what was so hard about making this official English-speaking country? Well, those soldiers that gave their lives gave birth to a bunch of senators, 33 of them, all but 2 Democrats. One was an independent, and one was a Republican from New Mexico, who voted against the thought of English being our official language. Not only were 33 senators, but some of them had presidential hopes, and some of them still do have presidential hopes. Biden, Hussein Obama, and Clinton all voted against making English the official language of America. John Kerry, do you remember him? He ran for office of the presidency 3 years ago. He voted against making English our official language. And this isn't the first time this list of political hacks have disgraced themselves. But these people are knowingly and wittingly supporting illegal immigrants. They know this is starting to gear up towards America, major sections of America becoming Hispanic. They know this is happening, and they do nothing to stop it because they want the votes. The Republicans want the cheap labor, and the Democrats want the votes. They know the Hispanics usually vote Democratic, and the Hispanics have been voting more and more Democratic in recent elections, with the exception of the Cubans, who seem to be steadfast Republicans. Chaim?
Well, this is just another example that there are certain people who will do anything they can to destroy this country. Hillary Clinton, by the way, just to give you an example about Hillary Clinton, she, when she was in law school, worked on behalf of the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers is a Jew-hating, white-hating, cop-killing organization of communist terrorists who literally murdered police officers, got into gun battles with police officers, referred to all white people as pigs and honkies, condemned all Jews, called Jews Zionist pigs, and condemned all Jews, even though self-hating sick Jews like Leonard Bernstein gave them money. And Hillary Clinton fought while she was at Yale. She fought to free the Black Panthers, who were on trial for some of their violent actions. She also interned for a communist attorney that summer. She voluntarily interned and assisted voluntarily a communist attorney, an open communist who was an attorney. So you see the self-hatred, the ugly self-hatred, the hatred of America on the left, and Hillary Clinton reflects that. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that all these Democrats and leftists who hate Christianity and hate Judaism and hate America and hate any symbol that's Christian or Jewish or American or patriotic, but if you say anything against Islam, they're supposed to be against real separation of church and state. If you say anything that's against Islam, that's bigotry. Islam you're allowed to have. We have prayers. We have Muslim prayers in our schools today. You know that you have Muslim prayers in our schools today? You know that Muslims are allowed to conduct their prayers in school auditoriums on school time. Students are called to Muslim prayers today in New York City and in other cities. All the leftists in the ACLU and all the Hillary Clinton-type Democrats who are for separation of church and state are not for separation of mosque and state.
In Oak Lawn, Illinois, they banned Halloween, which I don't care. That they could ban. But they banned Christmas and Easter. Meanwhile, they allow their Muslim students to pray openly, set aside rooms for them. In a Christian country, or what was once a Christian country, Muslims came here, knew they were coming to a Christian country. Now, the first school district has banned Christmas and Easter. You're losing your country, and you're too busy watching football to care about it.
If a Jew or a Christian if a Jewish or a Christian child tried to say a prayer in school, we know what would happen. It's absolutely forbidden. But Muslims openly are allowed to say prayers in mass gatherings on public school property, in public schools, on school time, with taxpayer dollars being used to support this. I mean, isn't this insane? Isn't this insane? They now have special fountains that they're creating for Muslims to be able to wash their hands and their smelly hands and feet before they go to their prayers. They actually have special water fountains to do this. Now, they're building special fountains for them in colleges, on college campuses. I mean, what in the world is going on here?
You guys out there, you know what you have to do to those fountains.
I mean, anyway. But it's unbelievable what goes on here. It's unbelievable what goes on here. This is a country that is determined to self-destruct. And you are doing nothing about it. And you know what the real reason is? All these billionaires that control the multinational corporations, the big actors, the big actresses in Hollywood, the Broadway producers, they hate America. You know why they hate America so much? You know why the Clintons really do hate America? Bill Clinton said he loathes the military. I mean, he hates America's military. You know why they hate this country so much? They hate this country because they are rebelling against their parents. Their parents were evil scum who raised a bunch of bratty, filthy, stinking brat kids in the 60s. And they are rebelling because they hate their parents. I agree with them for hating their parents. Their parents are scum. Barbara Streisand's parents were scum. And she's scum. But she hates her own parents. And so she's a Jewish anti-Semite, and she's anti-American, and she hates everything that involves America. This is like rebelling against their parents. They're screwing the country, America, that gave them so much. And all of these actors and actresses and millionaires and billionaires and CEOs, they hate this country. They absolutely hate this country. They detest everything this country represents. They blame America for all of their personal psychological problems, and they are nuts. But they blame America for their personal psychological problems. And so they try to resolve their personal psychological conflicts and problems by fighting against America, by fighting against Israel, America, Western civilization, biblical values, true good values. They hate all of that. They rebel against all of that. They resent it. They resent it if you talk about the Bible. They resent it if you talk about American traditional values. They resent it if you say we should guard our borders. They resent it if you support Israel. They resent it if you support anything decent or moral or ethical. They don't want any limits. These are egomaniacs who believe how dare any God limit me? I can do whatever I want. I have creativity. I'm going to put elephant dung on things that are sacred to people in art exhibitions, and I demand that the taxpayers support my so-called art. I want to go and do whatever I want. This is the mentality of these evil people. This is the mentality of the reporters and the so-called journalists and the billionaires and the CEOs. These are sick, demented, evil people who really they should be taken from their positions of power at the very least. I'd like to see something more happen to them, but I'm too moderate to tell you what. I would like to see something else happen to them. If we ever take power, something a little more dramatic might happen to them. I won't tell you what. I'll leave you guessing because, why reveal everything? Why not have a little guess, a little bit of a guessing game? We would actually do something else to these types of traitors.
Like the old TV show, I've Got a Secret.
Right. But anyway, these evil, disgusting, evil people hate you. They hate decent Americans. They hate decent people. They hate moral people. And they must go. They must be replaced and defeated. Not worked with, not consensus, defeated. And if you join us, we're going to do that. Shalom.